and welcome back. With the variety of music I perform and record on a regular basis, I've assembled a large collection of instruments, accessories, and tools that help me create the vast array of sounds I'm called to cover in any situation. Additionally, as someone who enjoys supporting small businesses and independent creators, I have an affinity to seek out the makers in the drum world, adding unique value to our industry without the resources of household name brand drum companies. With that said, one of the companies that really struck me over the last couple years is Stack Ring Percussion. If you do a search online to find Stack Ring's website, you'd be taken to the site of Reverie Drum Company, and that's because Stack Ring Percussion, along with Reverie Drum Co. and Timothy Roberts Cymbals, are all the creation of their CEO, Timothy Roberts. I don't know Timothy personally, but from the bio on his website and following his social media, he's not only a developer and creator of unique instruments, but an active performing and recording drummer. As someone who also builds and modifies drums to suit my specific needs, this really spoke to me, and I have massive respect for the people creating products not only to appeal to consumers, but to solve problems and gaps in the industry. As I've followed these three brands on social media, I've always enjoyed how often the posts showcasing new equipment are usually clips from a gig showing the real-life application of these tools, as opposed to staged demos from a professional studio. So as I made my way into getting some Stack Ring Percussion instruments of my own, I first came across their K-Stack. This is similar to other small rectangular stackers played with a quick, tight hi-hat-like effect, but what really stood out to me about this variation was the unique mounting plate, allowing it to nest onto the rim of a drum and be mounted without any additional stands or brackets. I'm a minimalist when it comes to my gigging gear, and for me, if a piece of gear requires me to add additional hardware to my equipment that I bring with me, I'm more likely to leave it at home and keep my load light. I absolutely love how this piece can easily be thrown in a cymbal bag, taking up almost no room, and be pulled out quickly and thrown on top of a drum for quick use on even just one song. Of course, if you'd prefer, they've included holes for alternate placement on a woodblock mount, but for me, I also enjoy how it not only functions as a convenient alternative sound, but also as a bit of muffling for my snare. I recorded a quick demo to show you how it can be useful in this way. And for all the studio demos in this video, I'm using a 2-mic setup with an SE Electronics V-Kick on the bass drum and a Shure KSM32 mono overhead. You may think that the K-Stack resting on the snare or another drum would be susceptible to sliding or moving around while playing, but of course this was thought out and they added a nice rubber bottom to stop the stack from drifting. Additionally, I appreciate how they added wing nuts to allow the user to tighten the sustain to taste for different rooms or situations. I found myself using this on numerous gigs, especially where there's not room for a full set, as this takes up almost no room at all. For a working drummer like myself, this has been a great option, and I'm thankful to have it. So after a great experience with my first Stack Ring Percussion instrument, I was certainly ready to expand my palette of their wide variety of offerings. In the last year, there has been no other piece of gear drummers have obsessed over more than the clapstack. And of course, most every cymbal and percussion company have taken notice and created their own spin on the acoustically simulated version of an 808 clap sound. Numerous times, I found myself in a setting where this sound could really enhance the music, but from what was out there, I felt like it would be tricky to incorporate this into my setup for a couple reasons. One, the awkward shape of these stacks seemed to be tricky to travel with, as it wouldn't fit in a cymbal bag or other case. And two, they seemed to be a series of different sized cymbals, with some being quite large. Additionally, a lot of these stacks were quite expensive, and something I was having a hard time justifying for myself. When I stumbled across Stack Ring's Versa Stack, I found this to be everything I was looking for in one of these clap stacks. The profile was much less dramatic, allowing it to be thrown in a cymbal bag for convenient transport, and also, right about the time I started looking, Stack Ring announced they were going to be adding a 12-inch version, which would be small enough to allow me to sneak it into multiple places on my setup without taking up too much real estate across a tight kit. Additionally, the specific version came in substantially cheaper than a lot of competitors' offerings, so as soon as this product was released, I put in my order and waited for it to arrive. Upon arrival and first use, I was really impressed at how much this sounded like the digital clap sound, so present in popular music, but I also really enjoyed the ability to tighten to taste again, just like the K-Stack. I recorded this quick demo to show a bit of the variety the VersaStack offers. I typically find a new sound to be tricky to incorporate into my vocabulary on the drums, and oftentimes when I bring a new piece of equipment to a gig, I feel like I'm either forcing it to fit into my playing, or I'm using the sound way too much because I'm so focused on it. My experience with this was so much different, and almost immediately, I was able to naturally incorporate the sound into my voice across many styles. I was able to grab a few clips, one with a jazz trio, and the second with a larger funk cover band, to show some of my first few gigs after getting the VersaStack. So as you can see and hear, my experience with stack ring percussion has been tremendous, not only from the application of the instruments, but also the customer service I experienced and the value based on cost and return. I'm really grateful to have these instruments in my toolbox for situations where they are useful, and hopefully they'll stand the test of time and be part of my voice in many scenarios going forward. I hope this video was helpful in your decision to invest in equipment from Stack Ring Percussion, and if you have any stories to share about your experience with Stack Ring, I'd love to hear about it, so leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on future video releases. Until next time, thanks.